He has 2 friends.
I do have pretty much 2 friends, but... All right. Albums, baby. 2016. Dude, the crossover for these years is insane. Which, by the way, looking at the how many albums certain artists put out in a 3-year span is actually just insane. We'll get to that then. So 2016 honorable mentions is Logic, Bobby Tarantino.
Hey.
I love Logic, but when I went back and listened to this, because I've listened to a song here or there when it comes on my mix, but I haven't sat down and listened to the album straight from front to back. It's good, but there's definitely some ones where you're just skip.
I didn't like it. Why do they call albums front to back, by the way?
I don't know.
I get the book thing. I get the book thing, and it's like a book, but even the earliest albums, we're talking audio, never had pages.
Well, I guess also the CD's spinning, so it's from front to back in the same sense. I don't know. It's just an expression, I guess.
No, aren't CDs written from the inside out though?
I mean, if you want to get technical, yeah.
I wonder if early records had multiple records in an album.
Yeah, they had 2 double double pressings or whatever, where they have 2 records in one. I think I have one.
I think Sonny and Cher did one of those, and I had one when I was a kid.
I think I have one.
With I Got You Babe on it. We should sing that to one another later.
The other honorable mention, Real Friends, The Home Inside My Head. Good. It's good, but it's definitely not the best Real Friends album. I went back and I listened to this one the other day too, and it's not the best Real Friends album. Plus, the other 4 on here are just much better than this.
It's all right.
So
they tried.
The top 4, we've got Aaron Lewis, Sinner. This was his second full length album. It's his 3rd album, I believe, but it's his second big full length. This one is this I think might be my favorite Aaron Lewis album. The subject matter, the way that he wrote the songs, the way that they came together musically, it has that old, raw, outlaw, twangy country to it. He's got the deep voice. He's singing about, being at the bar and love and
shocker,
drinking whiskey.
Damn,
dude,
he went all out.
Just such a good album.
I'm not even gonna opine on this. I'm just going to point out that this is the 3rd Aaron Lewis album in our album segment that we've had, and I think you might have a thing for him.
Maybe. The second in the top 4, Thrice, To Be Everywhere Is to Be Nowhere. This album is incredible. Completely different sound from what Thrice is known for, back in the emo era. They're more indie rock in this.
It's good.
It's so good.
It's good. I don't like it as much as The Artist in the Ambulance, but that's probably partially because of the nostalgia factor for me with that album. But to go from being the Thrice that played The Artist in the Ambulance to the Thrice that played To Be Everywhere Is to Be Nowhere, not a lot of bands can transcend that kind of sound. And granted, it's not a huge jump. It's not like it's not like Taylor Swift going from, her self-titled country girl to the queen of pop in 1989.
Yeah.
That's a jump, and she did it right.
Yeah.
But this is more of a subtle, hey, we're going to go play in that sandbox now.
Yeah. This album is just so good. And I found this album just on a whim. I think I was on a YouTube kick where I just watched music videos, and there was a Seether was doing a cover of Deftones that was really, really good. They covered Change in the House of Flies, and they covered Black Honey off of this album, which is really good because the dude from Seether has that raspy voice that the vocalist from Thrice has, and it's an absolutely banging cover of that song. And then I was like, who wrote the original? And I went and listened to this album. I was like, damn, this album's good. The third one, Blink-182, California.
You skipped one.
Oh yeah, I did, but
We'll just go
okay.
back to it. This is amazing.
So when I first listened to this album, this is their second album with the dude from Alkaline Trio?
No.
Or this is their first one?
Yes. Matt Skiba.
Yes, Matt Skiba. That's his name. When I first listened to this album, I hated it.
I think my initial pass through wasn't as favorable as it is now. I was impressed with Skiba's performance on it, but I wasn't like, damn, Blink really railed it there. Like, they set the bar high with a lot of stuff that they put out. Some of it was trash, some of it wasn't trash, some of it was gold. And this was one of those things where it was like, I'm not sure if that's gold. And then over time,
yeah, this album definitely grew on me big time because of course I went back and listened to this album, and it's a banger from front to back. It's solid.
Day in, day out.
It also went back to like Blink-182 in like their true form, where they have those like serious songs, they have the joking songs where they're talking about raunchy stuff. So I liked that it was kind of like a return to form.
I want to see some naked dudes. That's why I built this pool.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good one, and it definitely grew on me over time. And then the last one for the top 4 is Knocked Loose Laugh Tracks. This is their like big push into the mainstream, and this album just came out swinging. So good, so heavy. It's the dude's vocals, I forget his name, but they're very unique for like this heavy of music, cuz like normally when you go like this heavy, you have like the deep guttural like vocals, but he is just like very high-pitched, yelly type of scream, but it blends so perfectly in like their style.
Yeah, I mean, they came out swinging so hard with this one, I'm pretty sure whoever was on the receiving end probably got their tooth knocked loose. Damn, that was a reach.
That
landed, though.
That was a reach.
But yeah, I'm just glad there are no pig squeals. I mean, I didn't hear any. Maybe I missed it.
I don't think there's any. All right. What's your pick from 2016?
It's got to be California. I mean, for me, Aaron Lewis is great. That's cool. Thrice, I appreciate, the shift. Still wasn't there. Knocked Loose really, really came close, but Blink did something that no one ever thought would happen, but at the same time, everybody thought it would happen.
Yeah.
And then they nailed it. Like, Skiba fit in. He didn't sound like Tom, but he didn't need to.
Yeah.
And I think
they paved their own way with Skiba at the front, and they came into their own, but while also staying true to who they are as a band over all these years. I think my choice is gonna be... Man, that's a tough one. I think I'm gonna go Aaron Lewis, Sinner. Just because, like, when I went back and like was picking the top 4 in here, when I put on Sinner, I remembered how much I loved this album when it came out.
I'm gonna need somebody to tag Aaron Lewis in the comments so he can meet his man crush. This man wants you. Is
All right.
he still playing?
Yeah. Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah, we saw him at Ram's Head. Probably right like 15 years ago at this point.
We're talking about 2016. This is like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't even think he was doing country when he saw you around.
We saw him like when he first started doing country. So maybe not 15 years, but damn well close to like 10, 12 maybe.
I mean, that makes sense.
Because when we saw him, he literally only had, I think it was The Road was the album that he was touring on. So he played those songs, and there was actually a dude in the crowd that got kicked out because he kept yelling "Stained." He kicked him out. Aaron Lewis got off stage, of course, came out to do an encore, and he goes, "Now see, if you just would have been patient, you would have been able to hear these songs." And he sat down and he played like all the hits from Stained, and it was fucking great.
That's cool. I still think he should have a stage name if he's doing country.
2017. This one had a this one was tough for me to pick the top 4. So the honorable mentions here: Gideon, Cold. Like I said last week, Gideon, ever since Costs, has just been putting out bangers. This is another one of those examples of just putting out another banger. This was more melodic and sing-songy a bit, like a little more than they did previously, but it's so good. So good. Logic, Everybody. Now, this was his like huge album. I mean, it had the 1-800 song on it that took over the world during this time. This was his, like, as an album and like production value on this, and as like I guess it was kind of a themed album. It like all kind of like runs together with like the beats and the songs and like the little skits and whatnot. And it was his like peace, love, positivity album of like the true like mental issues that he was struggling with and that everybody goes on. It's a good album. It really is. Like it was this big for a reason. But
I thought it was overproduced.
Compared to his other stuff, I think it just kind of gets overshadowed.
I still think it's overproduced.
The last honorable mention.
Don't even say it.
Yellow Wolf,
Nope.
Trial by Fire.
Does not belong on that list.
There's some songs on it that are good, that are really, really mainstays in our household. But as an album, this one's not the one. But it does deserve at least an honorable mention.
I'm going to go upstairs and play Bada Yada and see how your wife reacts to it.
So the top 4. Story of the Year, Wolves. This was their first release in a long time as a band. Adam Russell was out of the band. Phil was playing bass, and they went to one guitar player. This was they definitely were a little different style. They had more like what's the word, synthesizer and stuff in it. But I really enjoy this album. I thought it was really good. It was their pushback to like, hey, I know the last 2 albums that we put out weren't the greatest. Sorry. Is this good?
I know they're your favorite band, and I love them for what they are. These guys nailed it and then fell apart and spent a very long time trying to get it right. And I don't think this is representative of it being right just yet.
Not yet. No, not yet. But this was the building blocks to get back to where they needed to be. Because this album has those moments that you're like, yes, this is Story of the Year. But like the real like synthesize-y parts, I think I think Phil had a lot to do with that because he got into that band Greek Fire, which is definitely really
Maybe it was Dan.
weird. Dan's vocals and his lyrics on this album, I think, are what I really get drawn to.
No,
especially Praying for Rain.
Dude, I could see him being like, we need synthesizer. They're getting there.
Yeah.
Once they add that other guitarist back, they'll be there.
The second one is Stick to Your Guns, True View. This album's a banger. This is just that classic stick to your guns, in your face, just absolutely perfect. I love this album, and I don't think I don't listen to it enough like I should, because when I put this on to re-listen to it, I was like, God damn, I forgot how good this was.
I know Stick to Your Guns. I've listened to them. I don't think I've ever actually heard anything from True View.
This is I think this album kind of flew under the radar a bit because, I mean, Diamond and Disobedient were so, like, pushed. And I could be wrong, but I don't know if True View, if they were on, like, a major label at this point anymore. But I could be wrong. Or this album wasn't, like, pushed as much. This had, like, Carpe Diem? Carne Cavum or something like that. Carne Cavum or something like that.
Meat Cave?
I forget what it's called. But they had a lot of really solid. If you haven't listened to it, I suggest listening to it if you like Stick to Your Guns. This one I literally put on there because I could not keep this off because of 2 songs on this album. And the fact that it was Chester's last album that he recorded with Linkin Park, from my understanding.
Pretty wild that it's called One More Light.
And this album is Linkin Park, One More Light. And let me tell you.
Say yet, sorry.
Let me tell you. When I went back to listen to this album, I've never listened to this album like from front to back. I put it on and I was like, skip. Skip. And like the album from front to back, for me at least, is just not the Linkin Park that I enjoy. But then that song Heavy comes on and you're like, okay, all right. And then the song One More Light comes on. And let me tell you, I cried like a baby because that song will hit you hard. It is one song that is written about like the subject matter of like losing somebody or, you know, somebody not being there anymore. It is the absolute perfect song that encapsulates what that's like. It is top notch. His vocals are really raw and just there's no driving instruments in the music. There's really like no guitars with gain. There's nothing. There's just his voice and just that like big sound feel that comes in like the choruses and stuff. It is just so touching.
Are you done?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
Then
I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I mean, as an album, it's meh, but I could not leave it off the top 4 just because of those 2 songs by themselves. Because those songs just hit so hard. And the last one in the top 4, Tyler Childers, or Tyler Childers, however you say it.
Childers?
Purgatory.
Yeah, let Brandon hear you pronounce his last name Childers. Shit out of you. Dude, this was fire.
This album is incredible, dude.
Like Feathered Indians is on this, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
This had all like his when he like came out and like all of the hits that he has are on this album. It's just from front to back just so damn perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Can't beat it.
Funny enough, I'm pretty sure when he was touring on the album after this, somebody went to see him, and this was like height of concert tickets just being through the roof. They went to see him, and he had played none of the songs off of this album.
He's missing the boat then.
Imagine you get huge attention, and you're just on these massive tours selling out arenas, and you're not playing the hits.
I mean, he doesn't strike me as a spatially aware person, so I can understand that, but no offense to him. I mean, it is what it is, but come on, dude. Like, people are buying that album.
That's what got you there. That's what got you there. You can't not play the hits.
It's like, do you think you ever go see AC/DC here 30 years later, 40 years later, and they don't play Back in Black?
Yeah, or Thunderstruck.
Come on. Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like going to see Ozzy and not hearing Crazy Train.
Or seeing Metallica and they don't play Enter Sandman.
Nobody does that. Nobody wants to see that.
I want to see that.
No, you don't. They edit their drums for their live recordings.
I don't care. Well, because Lars sucks.
Well,
he's the worst drummer.
That doesn't mean you just edit it and then paste it into this frickin' video, and it's like, he's playing this, but this is playing this.
I'd still kill to see Metallica.
Who you killing?
I don't know yet.
I don't think you'd kill to see Metallica.
So, out of these, I think my pick's Tyler Childers or Childers, however you want to say it.
My pick is Purgatory. That was the album of the year in 2017. It's just
this is when like this style of like the folky music started to really get huge.
Yeah, and I'm still not a huge fan of it, but like this is good.
If it's done right, like this album, I love it. I'm all for it.
This is literally Jenkins the butler walking in with a silver platter and handing you the album. I mean, he nailed it with Purgatory.
Do you like folky style music? Yes, may I present you these? You're like, thank you. Put your little handkerchief in to eat. Curl your mustache. Yes.
Pizza is my second favorite thing to eat in bed.
2018. Another Logic album as the honorable mentions. Bobby Tarantino 2.
Okay, so like 3 years in a row, Logic is on there. And it's next year too.
No, he has another album in this year as well that's an honorable mention.
Oh, come on,
Young
man.
Sinatra 5.
No.
Young Sinatra 5 is much better than Bobby Tarantino 2. But they don't belong in the top 4 because this top 4 was locked in.
Dude, they don't even belong on the list.
I think they do.
Homie was out there just slinging stuff and seeing what sticks.
He was really going way too hard on releasing albums.
I want to know who his manager was at his label, because somebody somewhere had to say, "What?"
Yeah, what are you doing, man? Slow down. You're gonna oversaturate yourself.
Well, and he did.
Yeah. The other honorable mention here is Belmont, the self-titled album. Dude, this band has some talented dudes in it. And by talented dudes, I mean their drummer is just insane. Absolutely insane.
He's a chump.
It's so crazy.
Is his name Estepario?
No, not that crazy.
He's a chump.
Anybody
that touches drumsticks today is a chump if you're not Estepario.
Yeah, that dude is.
I've been playing drums for 23 years, and I feel like I suck.
Dude, that dude is on another level. But yeah, the drum, like the drum fills, and I forget the song name, but it's so sick. The top 4. Old boy chair thrower himself, Morgan Wallen.
Had to bring it up.
If I Know Me.
Evidently he didn't.
This was when he came to the scene and started killing it, because this album had some heaters on it, and it has my daughter's favorite song, Whiskey Glasses, on it.
He is incredibly talented. His music is good. Acknowledging that most of it he does not write himself. He is writing more now. If he's listening, Morgan, if you're listening, please, please, you are the culmination of 3.4 billion years of evolution. We need you to start acting like it. No.
Dude, I mean, if I was that young and I was that crazy successful like that, dude.
You would throw chairs off of a fucking building at cops?
Probably.
I would question your intelligence. The fact that he's successful is great. The fact that he's that young means that he's not, wise yet. But
he doesn't have the right people. He doesn't have the right people being like, "Hey, man, we're not going to the bar tonight. We're just gonna stay home and just relax like normal people do."
Even if he goes to the bar 24/7, 365, it doesn't require him to pitch a chair 6 stories. Like, what the hell is this? Some form of frickin' officer cornhole? How close can you get to the patrol car without putting the chair through the windshield?
I guess he got pretty close.
I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know how close it was, but from what I hear, it was close enough for them to say, "Hey, you're going to jail."
Number 2, Mac Miller, Swimming. This is probably one of the craziest transitions of an artist that I have ever seen. Because back when I first heard Mac Miller, he was just like typical like young white rapper that was just kind of like party rapper, basically.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Are you in like Morgan's bloodline now? Did you have to articulate that he was white? We're going to get flagged now.
Well, no, it's like typical.
I'm going to get shot standing outside my garage.
Typical white party rapper, like just
you did it again.
The most typical thing. And like it was okay, but when he started like
he killed it.
Really,
this was good.
The instrumentation on this album is just crazy. Like the pianos, the horns, the bass lines, like all like it's not a hip hop album like by any means.
Are you suggesting this album was very horny?
But it's just I don't even know like the genre of music to even call it. But it is just it's like I would consider it kind of like easy listening, because it is just like a album you throw on like just when you're just trying to chill and like just
it's jazz hop.
Yeah, jazz hop. Yeah.
Louis Armstrong came back.
Yeah, this
Let me
was
get on that track.
This was a crazy like transition, and this is when I really started getting into like Mac Miller is this album. The third one, Eminem, Kamikaze. This is a return to form for Eminem in the biggest way possible. He is just firing on all cylinders. He is back to his normal self, and it is just he just took off all the censors and just went for it. And this is a wild album. The wordplay in this album alone, I still pick out little things that he says where I'm just like, oh my god, like it's like solving a riddle when you listen to this album. Like hearing him like just say one thing that means something else, but can also mean this and also mean that and also mean that, and it's like, dude, it's a banger.
Maybe he should be called the Riddler.
I mean, maybe.
Kind of looks like the Riddler.
But I love this album. It's so good.
I'm just ready for Eminem to retire.
I don't know. The way he's been coming back and releasing stuff, because there's another Eminem album coming up here that is also just...
He's also been burning C notes since like 2005, so I think he's good.
Dude, the new Eminem albums are just top. Like, I think it's some of the best stuff he's ever put out by a long shot. Yeah. The last one, The Story So Far, Proper Dose. This is another album that is just one that I forgot about and went back and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Solid. It's more like toned down, not as like punchy as the other Story So Far stuff, but they had started to come down into more like a like an indie pop sort of sound. Yes, no?
I would agree with the summary. I don't like it.
Oh, I thought it was good.
I mean, I didn't say it wasn't good. I said I don't like it.
I liked it, Andy.
We're what, 18 in? No, 24? 20, 18, 20? We're many albums in, and you've liked every one so far.
That's the point of this whole segment, is albums that I like, but which ones are my favorite?
So which one's your favorite?
Kamikaze.
I'm going to have to go with old MW. If I know me.
The old chair chucker.
Seriously, Morgan, please. We care about you. I mean this. I'm tired of defending my boy. Well, my boy's music. Because I certainly won't defend his actions. But I'm really tired of defending his music and being accused of things.
Dude, that is one thing. Like, the people that hate on Morgan Wallen's music just hate him because their wives want to just eat him up. They're just jealous.
You have so here's the thing with an artist. The music they produce, their art form, is not directly an extension of who they are. It is not mutually exclusive. You can have,
to an extent,
you can have an artist who can write absolutely amazing songs, sing about the most heartfelt topics, just really dig, and be complete pieces of utter shit.
Yeah.
So it's like to hold them locked together like that is not fair. And this is a case like that. His actions of recent have not been great.
No.
His music, most of it isn't even written by him. So the fact that he can perform it doesn't mean that he's experiencing these emotions that lead to it. He can just perform it. He's an entertainer.
Yeah. These Nashville songwriters, man, they got to chill a little bit because they're writing too much good music.
Oh, it's been like that for years.
It's insane. So 2019, we've got 2 honorable mentions. We've got the one is an honorable mention.
Hold up, are the stars the
stars are the top 4? Now, I will tell you why this one is an honorable mention. It's because it's an EP that has 4 songs on it.
I don't care if it was a single.
It has 4 songs on it. That's why it's an honorable mention.
Bruh.
It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to put that on there.
You put Ghetto Cowboy on there.
That album's a banger.
But
and
not
that's
as good as...
album. This is a 4-song EP. So the first honorable mention, Andy, is Hardy, Where to Find Me, EP. This has 4 songs on it. It wouldn't have been fair for me to put this against actual lengthy albums because it would have just pooped all over them. It's incredible music because this dude is the absolute pinnacle, and I will fight anybody who says otherwise. This dude can write music. He can perform music, kind of. Sometimes he's a little off, but this dude can do it. Top notch. One of my favorite artists to come out in the past couple of years.
It's an honorable mention.
Because it's a 4-song EP.
Maybe that's the play.
You don't think he's got... Dude, we are approaching 2020 right now.
I know, I see
Do
that.
you know how much music this dude has put out and is going to just blow the doors off of everything else coming up?
You realize...
We got to give him a chance here.
That, like, he... most of the songs in the prior 5 years were, like, written by him.
Yeah.
But, just, what if a year from now he's like, I just want to write?
By all means, go for it, dude. You've made your nut.
He did
Go
that,
away.
dude. He did that before he even opened his mouth on a mic.
Yeah. The other honorable mention here is Tool, Fear Inoculum.
What the hell,
dude?
I didn't even realize that like I would. Yeah, and you put
You shut your whore mouth over there, mister. This album is incredible from Tool. Some of the most talented musicians out there. It's a solid album, and you can listen to it from front to back and not even realize that you skipped a song because it runs together, and it's incredible.
Yeah, that's why it should displace one of those other ones. I'm sorry, what?
So the top 4, Andy.
Oh, you want me
and
to,
the top 4 that
do
are going to stay the top 4 with whatever you have to say. We'll start with the bottom one, Yellow Wolf, Ghetto Cowboy. This is the Yellow Wolf that I want all of the time. This is it right here. This is his genre of music that he should just write from here on out.
What does a Ghetto Cowboy look like?
Yellow Wolf.
So, like, riding a horse down Pratt Street in Baltimore with a 5-gallon hat?
Yeah. Yep.
10-gallon hat?
Mm-hmm. Dude, this is the song. This is the music that he should write. It's just perfect. It's not trying to be like hardcore rap. It's not trying to be like anything else. It's just his own little mixture of like being from Alabama and like rapping. Like it's so well done because I don't even think that he really like.
I hate Alabama.
I mean,
it's
not
good. It is good. I've listened to it. I did listen to it. I saw it on this list before you knew I saw it on this list. So I listened to it.
It is a
like,
shared note. So
well, I mean,
I would hope you look at it every now and then
when I get a chance. Usually late at night.
Yeah,
when I'm thinking about you.
This is what. It's such a good like blend of everything. I can't describe like what it is, but it's good. Go listen to it.
Why are you
Number 2?
Why are you avoiding the eye contact?
Number 2.
Number 2. Are you going from the bottom?
Yep. Logic. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Now, this album by Logic is absolutely top notch. This is what I want. He just brought it with this album, and he did a song with Eminem. Like, if you can get Eminem on your album, you're doing something right. But this is like my favorite Logic album, I think. The actual song Confession of a Dangerous Mind is probably one of my favorite Logic songs of all time. It's such a good album.
Is he doing something right, or does he just have significant financial backing and Eminem likes money?
I mean, he probably had to pay up for that, but the song that he did with Eminem is fire, and the music video is hilarious. Have you ever seen the music video?
No, but to your
that?
point, any collaboration with Eminem is really hard to come by.
So it's a music video that has other people playing themselves in the video. So Logic gets the guy from the Sandlot, Squints, to play him in the music video, and then Logic talks to Chris D'Elia, the comedian, and he wants him to play Eminem. And Chris in the music video is like weird and like twisted, like a lot of references from like the early Eminem stuff. So they get Chris D'Elia to play Eminem, and they do this video of Squints playing Logic and Chris D'Elia playing Eminem. And it's hilarious because Chris D'Elia, if you don't know, is a hilarious comedian, but also like the way that he does things is very like over the top, and it makes it even better. And then at the end, it has Eminem playing Chris D'Elia, and Chris D'Elia made a video saying that he can rap like Eminem, and he's just like rhyming random words in like a style that Eminem raps. So he plays Chris D'Elia in that kind of video, and it's perfect. It's just one of those music videos that you watch and you're like, okay, well done. You get it. You got it. Number 3, Gideon, Out of Control. Probably my favorite Gideon album. Dude, they brought it.
Is their band name because of the guy from Criminal Minds?
No, who's from Criminal Minds? His name's Gideon. Is that the really smart guy?
Yeah, the
long hair?
No. The old guy.
Oh.
Like the director of The Division.
Oh, I didn't know his name was Gideon.
Gideon? Isn't his name Gideon?
I have no idea. I'm not quite sure. But dude, this album is a ripper. They completely like went out of what they were doing and just went all in on just balls to the walls, heavy, in your face. This has like some really technical like guitar sounds in it, where like it's like a palm mute, but it's not muted, and I don't know how to describe it, but dude, it's incredible. It fits perfectly in like the style of music. It's chef's kiss. Number 4, Riley Green, Different Round Here. Let me tell you about this guy. Absolutely killing it in the country music game. Dude. He's still out there.
He's out there, but he's not killing it.
Dude. Killing it.
No.
Killing it.
Connor Smith is killing it.
I don't even know who Connor Smith is, so...
What the hell's wrong with you?
Apparently not killing it. Riley Green.
Why'd you move your foot?
Riley Green, Different Round Here. This album is just Podunk Town. Write a song about it. That's this album. Which is funny because guess where I'm from? Small town PA, baby. Stinky Town, PA, for what some people call it.
Bro, that place constantly smells like somebody ripped a fat one, like a proper clapper. Yeah. Like you roll down your window and you're just
now that I don't live there anymore. When I go in there for whatever reason, it's just like, did it always smell like this?
Dude, the paper mill smells like shit. Yeah. Like straight shit. Yeah.
But at the time it didn't bother me.
That's because you were around it all the time. You didn't notice it.
I know.
You spend like 3 days there, and you're just like, ah,
Stinks.
nice and good.
Out of
Looking
these,
like a double wide surprise.
God damn. Out of these 4, which one?
Podunk, PA, Riley Green.
Good choice.
Don't judge me.
I think that's a tough one. I think I'm gonna go with Gideon, Out of Control. This album's a ripper.
I'll take that.
It's so good.
If you had said Logic, I was going to get up and leave, but
It was close.
I still might get up and leave. My knees hurt.
2020. We are approaching the end of this segment. Like, as a whole. We'll be going... Next week will be the end of this album segment.
No, it won't.
Yes, it will.
No, it won't.
Why not?
Because after next week, we're going to start at 1990 and work our way backward.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No.
I want to talk about some Iron Maiden. And then I want to talk about some
we'll have to come
Jackson 5.
We'll have to come up with another like album segment. I just don't know yet.
Maybe we can cover everything pre-1990. Like make a list.
Yeah.
Like a top 10 and then pick one.
Some of the biggest albums for us from those years back, because I mean if we start going back that far, I don't think I'm going to have like that many albums that really like are like these kinds of albums.
No, absolutely, but I'm thinking like, like Johnny Cash.
I mean, yeah.
Beatles, Beach Boys,
Hank Williams, Waylon Jennings,
Conway Twitty.
Every time I hear Conway Twitty, I think of the segment of Family Guy where it's just the cutaway and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty," and it cuts away from the show and it just cuts into like an old Conway Twitty concert and he's just like singing.
Dude,
I love that segment.
There are so many Family Guy scenes that I didn't realize occurred that are horrible. And I'm like, how did that air on Adult Swim?
Dude.
Like, it's bad.
Okay, we got to keep this segment going before
Like
we get really off the rails.
That scene where Peter got like the piercings and everything. Dude, no.
So there's no honorable mentions in this one here.
That's because 2020 sucked.
Just top 4. Yeah, 2020 did suck.
Hold up. Did you skip a Morgan Wallen album?
I don't think so. No. I think 2020.
Oh, no, it's 2021.
Yeah. So we've got Hardy, a rock. I mean, dude, this album is a banger.
Yeah, I mean, who else can sing about slamming a bitch while you're drunk, knocking her up, and living to tell the tale? But
I mean, this dude, like, really, like, he took, like, a rock. Like, he literally took that concept of a rock and made an entire song about the beginning of life and the end of life, all focused around we're living life on a rock. He literally wrote a song about that, and it's absolutely perfect. It's insane. Dude has unspeakable talent in songwriting. And give heaven some hell, dude. That song...
Just stop.
Ooh.
Just stop.
Ooh.
Can't do it.
Ooh.
Can't do it.
That song will grab you.
Not doing it right now.
That song grabbed you, didn't it?
And it does every time.
Yeah. Guess when when I started listening to Hardy and all the stuff I was going through at the time and I had to hear that song? Oh, thanks. Thanks, guy. Appreciate it.
Should have listened to him in 2020, bro.
I should have. The Ghost Inside self-titled album. This was their return after being in a almost fatal bus accident. Well, it was a fatal bus accident because the bus driver died. The drummer of this band lost his leg, I believe, and they had a heavy amount of rehab that they had to go through after their accident. I mean, it was bad. And to come back and to write an album that is this good, dude, credit and flowers all the way to the Ghost Inside. 100%. Because the drummer had to basically like adapt his entire play style to be around drumming with one, like his main foot for kick pedal is now cut at the knee. He just had to revamp his play style. They got like fitted him with like a prosthetic and stuff like that. Like, I mean, till you have to basically like relearn everything.
Well, the shitty thing about that is most of the prosthesis I've seen for that don't have articulated ankles.
Mm-hmm.
And as a drummer, I can tell you, if you want to do advanced or even like remotely meticulous playing on that pedal,
mm-hmm.
your ankle is huge in that.
Yeah, dude. Just everybody that was involved, like the whole band, just coming back with this album after something like that, hats off. It's top notch, and they didn't miss a beat.
That's awesome.
It's insane.
Also, for any aspiring drummers out there, if you play and keep your heel on the ground, you're doing it wrong. Figure it out. Just saying.
The next one, Eminem.
Damn it.
Music to be Murdered By.
What the hell?
Another one where he just came out swinging. Absolutely perfection from front to back.
I also want to point out real quick.
Some of the best stuff he's ever done. I will say it, hands down.
Ironic that 2020 is like perfect vision, and yet it was literally the shittiest year since the turn of the century.
Yeah, 2020 was rough on everybody.
Who's number 4? I'm tired of Eminem.
Number 4 is Mac Miller, Circles. Another album that is just like, where is this like coming from?
Yeah, I mean,
just the crazy, intricate music that is with this is just like, dude, it's mind-blowing. It's incredible. And very like easy listening.
So we got country. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Borderline redneck.
Yeah.
Heavy shit. Rap
and jazz hop from what
you said. You are like,
dude,
you are the rainbow of musical taste.
I am. I really am.
We're gonna have to start campaigning for you.
If somebody saw me driving, like if somebody could just sit in my truck as I drive down the road and just put my mix on, they'd be like, where is this? How did you come up with this mix? I'm like, it just plays, man. And it's just like the most redneck of redneck music, going to like the heaviest of the heavy music, throwing into like the deepest pool of 90s hip hop. Then it goes to like a pop song that's just randomly on there, and it's crazy.
Did I send you the Baby Got Back cover? The guy singing Baby Got Back. What did he sing it as, though? It was like an accent.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I gotta find it. No, I feel you, though. Like, I have an iPhone. I have Apple Music. I'll just go into Apple Music, go to songs, which, you know, is everything that I've ever added to my library. I think it's like 5,000 some songs, and I'll just hit shuffle.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'll be driving down the road, and you'll have, you know, a song from frickin' Beauty and the Beast come on, like
Dude,
like filler track, and I'm like, oh.
I'll save that for after this.
Oh, boy. No, but, like, because, you know, when my daughter was young, I had Disney stuff that she wanted to hear, and that's in the library. And now that she's grown, it's like, Dad, why are we listening to this? And I'm like,
because it's beautiful.
Oh, how I love to see you, Gaston.
So which one you picking out of these 4?
Bro, it's Hardy. Hardy nailed it, dude. A rock, like, you've got, you know, Give Heaven Some Hell, a rock. The song about baby making that I referred to. I can't remember exactly what it's called off the top of my head, but it was a duet. I don't want to be your boyfriend anymore.
Oh yeah.
That was Boyfriend. What else was on this album?
I can't remember.
Like this from front to back. This had like every song was just like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. That's basically Hardy in a nutshell.
Well, and
you
then
can just put on his whole discography, and there's not a single skip in it.
Yeah, I mean, well, then he followed it up with Mockingbird
Dude, that
and The Crow.
Whew.
That one's good. In between, you had Mixtape, which was just like, oh yeah, let's just like throw together the all-star team and see what the hell sticks.
Hicks tape.
Yeah,
dude, they kill it with those. It's just the top writers from Nashville that are just like, and we're together, and then we got maybe like a country star on it or what have you. Like they did the Diffie, the Diff tape that they just put out where they had Post Malone singing on it.
You know who does better writing than Hardy? Luke Combs.
I hate Luke Combs.
I don't care.
I really don't like Luke Combs.
You look like him.
I don't. I'll take that as an insult.
I mean, like, you're not that big, but and no offense to Luke Combs.
He's a pretty big guy.
He's a big boy, but he looks a lot better. He doesn't look fat anymore. Like there was a point when it was like, oh, dude, you're.
Yeah.
But there's a point that I look like that too, so I can't. I'm not passing judgment.
I'm currently there.
Well,
man, I don't. Having to pick one of these is.
If you don't pick Hardy,
is tough. I think I just got to pick Hardy. I'm not gonna lie. I just have to. I have to pick Hardy.
I mean, the Ghost Inside's close, like to an appreciation of what they went through, but
the Eminem album's also pretty damn close too.
I still think Eminem needs to take a nice long sabbatical again. Maybe not for rehab this time. Just like a vacation.
Man, you're just not an Eminem fan, are you?
I like old Eminem.
This
I don't like him
is basically
now.
a return to old Eminem.
It's not though, because now he's like 50.
Yeah, but this dude is on it.
He's doing that like stop,
and you can hear every word.
And then he bitches about people doing mumble rap, and it's like, what the?
You could.
You literally just invented it, and now you're gonna bitch about it. Like,
I could choke this man.
Yes, you can hear every word. He can articulate it. I wonder how many takes it took him to get on his Nordic track.
Oh, man.
I better shut up before there's a track about me.
All right. Can you scroll down a little bit? Because I have another little segment here. That
we're skipping that one?
Well, we can revisit, but I want to hump right into it. Hump into it. So, when I sit down and play games, for some reason, I don't know why, but it helps when I look at like a list of like the top games or like the most talked about games, and I look at the ones that I haven't played, and I'm like, man, a lot of people talk about that game, and that's the one I'll start to play. So it like helps with my direction of like being surrounded by so many games, not only in my game room, but on like the availability of everything just through the subscription services and whatnot. I just need something to like reel me in and just be like, hey man, play these and then go and then venture out.
Have you considered therapy?
Kind of, yeah. So I jumped in to the NES to start. I wanted to start with the NES. And I looked at the top 5 games of all time for the NES. And I took a combination of multiple lists. So I have a list from IGN. Say what you want about IGN and like their reviews and things that they do. But their list matched with a lot of other ones.
I just think their developers should learn how to build a website.
I agree. And they should keep some of their views to themselves, but that's
Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
So I took the list from IGN and I took a list from Nintendo Life because I really enjoy Nintendo Life on like YouTube and stuff. So, and a lot of the games were shared.
3
of the 5, yes.
There's 6 in the no, that's a total line. Never mind.
So around the board, the number 1 game of all time for the NES is Super Mario Brothers 3. That's on the top of everybody's list.
Who doesn't want to be a raccoon?
We can all agree that that's the best game on the NES.
No.
Excuse me?
No. Dude, I don't care if you get to be Trash Panda Mario or not. I don't think Super Mario Brothers 3 is the absolute best game on the NES.
Really? Is the top game on the NES in this list?
No.
Wow. Okay. Now I'm intrigued. I would put, for my own personal list, I would definitely put this at the top. 100%. It is a game that I can put on at any point, anytime, anywhere. If my daughter wants me to sit down and she wants to play 5 seconds of Mario 3 before she's like, on to the next, I'm going to play with Barbies instead, I will sit there and I will just continue to play it because I just can't help it. It is just that good. I don't need to say anything else about it because everybody else has said it for me. So I'll get to that at the end here. The number 2 game on the IGN list was the original Legend of Zelda. And on Nintendo Life, they had Mega Man 2 in this second slot. So I think I would personally put Zelda in the second slot over Mega Man 2 because I personally don't have nostalgia for Mega Man at all. And as somebody who went in and played Mega Man as an adult for the first time,
Hold up. You were never exposed to the Mega Man cartoon?
Mm-mm. Nope. Mega Man to me, I always saw people and their love for Mega Man, but I never took the dive until
Hang on, I'm still processing.
being a full-grown adult. And I was like, Mega Man, I guess I'll check and see what this is all about. And they're good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not good. I wouldn't put it on my top 5 probably.
We need a time machine. We need to figure out how to bend space-time so I can make sure you get introduced to Mega Man at the proper age.
Yeah, I don't know how, I guess I didn't have as much nostalgia and gameplay on the NES because right after I had gotten an NES and played it, it was time for the Super Nintendo to come out.
I mean, I had exposure to the NES. I didn't have one.
That was the first game system I had.
My exposure to Mega Man initially was through the cartoon.
Really?
And then I got the game for Super Nintendo and was like, this is amazing.
I think if I would have gotten introduced to Mega Man from those games, I think it'd be I'd have a different outlook on it.
So this is where I think Super Mario 3 would slot for me in number 2.
In number 2?
Probably, yeah. I mean, Trash Panda Mario is cool.
Then the number 3...
Oh!
What?
They should have given him the eye things.
Well, I don't think he's a raccoon.
He's got a raccoon tail.
I know, but I think they call it Tanuki suit. And I think in Tanuki...
The hell does that mean?
Tanuki means something in Japan, or it's like...
No shit.
Well, I think it's like a certain animal, but it's not a panda. I don't know what it is. Or it's not a raccoon, I mean. That's what
They
I meant.
still should have given him the eye things. It would have looked cool. It would have made Mario look like a robber.
So the number 3 slot for the IGN list had the original Super Mario Brothers.
That does not belong on any list.
And then the Nintendo Life had Legend of Zelda in that slot. For me, I don't think the Super Mario Brothers original belongs in the top 5. I just don't. I mean, for what it was at the time that it was, 100% it has its place in history. But
that was a combo game.
Yeah, well, it
For a
was
reason.
It was a standalone game, but they have the combo for it too.
Right. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Duck Hunt is the better game.
I mean,
Holy crap, yeah. So, never mind. Super Mario Brothers 3 is third for me. Duck Hunt is second. Because I can...
Interesting.
Dude, Duck Hunt can keep my attention for hours.
You can't go.
I wish that they would make a Duck Hunt rifle.
Dude, that would... If they could somehow figure out a way to do Duck Hunt where you could do it like Big Buck Hunter, but it'd be Duck Hunt.
Dude, you could have done that with the Wii.
Yeah, dude, the Wii is not good when it comes to that. It is just not.
Reinvent it.
The number 4 slot for the IGN list had Mega Man 2, and the Nintendo Life list had Contra. So Contra being like the new kid on the block here in terms of these lists. I believe Contra does belong in the top 5. And this is, again, surprisingly enough, this is a game that I did not play as a kid and I experienced as a full-grown adult.
There's probably a reason for that.
I've seen everybody talk about Contra, and I just kind of was like, yeah, it's a run and gun, cool. It's not something that I played back then, and I got a wild hair one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy the Contra collection on my Switch, and I'm just going to go and play and see what it's all about, because I didn't have anything else to play, and I was just like, why not now? So I pulled it up and I played it, and I can understand. I mean, it's a fantastic game.
Are those playtimes?
Yes.
No way.
Well, they're...
I want to know who can do that.
So we'll get to that after the top 5 here. So...
And to that point in the next one, I want to know who takes that long.
So on the number 5 slot for the IGN, they had Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. And on the Nintendo Life, they had Punch-Out. So I don't have enough experience with the Castlevania series on the NES that I can say whether or not they belong in the top 5. Especially with this one. I've played the first one and I've played the second one. I don't remember the third one. And the Punch-Out I have played. I didn't play it back when I was a kid. I played it as a full-grown adult. I think that definitely probably holds a place in the top 5.
I think Castlevania more so than Punch-Out. Punch-Out's fun and all, but it's not... I don't know. If you're only picking 5, yeah, no.
So out of I think the top 5 NES games of all time, in my personal opinion, are displayed here. For me, it goes Mario Brothers 3 at the number 1 slot. Legend of Zelda at the number 2. Then it goes Contra at number 3. Punch-Out at number 4. And I guess no. So the number 5 spot for me would have to go to TMNT Manhattan Project. That game for me is one of my favorite Ninja Turtle games of all time, and it's just top notch.
So for me, coming in at number 5 is going to be Bigfoot. Remember that?
No, I've never heard of that.
I think it was called Bigfoot. I don't know. It was the monster truck game.
It was a monster truck game?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Here we
Bigfoot.
go. Probably, dude. It's been what 30 freaking years. My brain is fried after today.
Bigfoot. I'm trying to think of a monster truck game for the NES. Is it literally called Bigfoot?
Yep.
Okay. Never heard of it.
Yep, Bigfoot. So it was like really cool because you could do like tractor pulls and hill climbs and all kinds of stuff. I loved it. Number 4 for me is probably going to be Mega Man 2. Number 3 would be Super Mario Brothers 3. Number 2 would be Duck Hunt.
What is this number 1?
Can you guess?
I don't think
No
I
clue.
could. After you threw Bigfoot at me, I don't think.
Paperboy.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Hard as nails, but
I literally, so growing up for a while, my neighbor was this like early 20s, I guess eventually late 20s because we all get older.
that is how time works.
Right. Delivery driver for Pizza Hut.
Mm-hmm.
And I pestered the living bejesus out of him on a routine basis to borrow Paperboy.
I remember playing Paperboy, and when I would get like past where I did before, I was like, "Oh my god, I did it!" And then I would just immediately get a game over. I'm like, "No!"
You always get caught by the dog.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever beaten that game. Is that a game you can beat, or is it just one of those games that like goes on and on and on until you eventually get a game over?
I have never gotten far enough to know. I mean, I would imagine that unless they created an infinite loop in the code, that there's got to be a kill screen or something somewhere, or like
Yeah,
some
I don't know
sort
if
of
it's something
ending.
that you can beat or if it's one that just like is kind of like a Tetris. But
I mean, most people
actually, I think there is an end to it.
most people typically don't put infinite loops in product. Like, it's just generally a bad idea because it can lead to a lot of problems. But
Yeah, but overall, like both of the lists, I think, are very, very, very solid choices of the NES. Because for the typical person that wants to revisit gaming history as a whole and maybe doesn't have any nostalgia for the NES and they just want to like get to where like things started, so to speak. Because I mean, for me, I always look at the NES as like some of the beginning of like what gaming is today and like how it got there. Because like I don't have nostalgia for the Atari or the Intellivision or any of those.
you missed out.
Those things from the previous thing. I've tried.
We need to go buy an Atari.
I actually did buy an Atari so that I could go back and revisit like some of these things, but
Dude,
the
Pong.
Atari didn't work.
Pong.
I mean, yeah, I've played Pong.
Pong.
Yeah,
And the Atari control.
yeah, I have
It's
played Pong.
amazing.
So for this segment, if we're basing a list here, and I just went with the IGN list because it's probably one of the bigger, most known sources when it comes to like the internet and gaming. If I went to them and I went and looked at their top 5, the amount that I would spend on going to pick up these 5 games is $115. Now that's based on price charting. So it has Mario 3 at about $20, Zelda at about $30. These are all loose cart. The Super Mario Bros. You can get for $5 or cheaper if you're looking for it places, because you can get the combo carts for dirt cheap. If you're getting Super Mario Bros. As just a standalone cart, it's going to be a little bit more. Castlevania 3 is running about $30. So your average about $30, $20 to $30 per game. So based on the time to beat these games, if you go to a website called How Long to Beat, you can type in any game and it'll tell you a general. If you want to beat just the main story, it'll tell you about how long it takes to beat that story, give or take. Now, when it gets to NES games...
Give or take, what, 5 hours?
When it gets to NES games, it's very, very, very skill dependent, because those games are much more challenging. So you're probably going to spend more time than what is here to play these games.
Here's the thing. If you're 7 hours into The Legend of Zelda and you die...
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You have to add that 7 hours to the total for the second go-round.
Well, Zelda's kind of different because you get sent back to the beginning, but you have all of your equipment still. You just get sent to the beginning of the map, so you have to travel all the way back. So you don't lose 7 hours. So like here, Mario Brothers 3, it says it takes about 5 hours. I would say that can be less if you know how to use the warp whistles and stuff. I mean, you can go from world 1 to 8 in like a minute and a half.
Oh, that's right. You're one of those rewind guys.
I could do that without a rewind right now.
I knew that you were that type.
You get the warp whistle in level 3, and you get the warp whistle in the castle, and then you're at world 8, all just like that. You have to beat world 8, obviously, without any power-ups and stuff from the game. So,
are you the dude in level 2 for Mario 1 that bounces through the ceiling and goes to? Yeah.
Yep. Yes, I am. So, I mean, you can spend less than 5 hours, or you can spend more than 5 hours if you're just a casual playthrough, just looking around, trying to find secrets and stuff like that. Generally, you're going to spend about maybe 5 hours to beat Mario 3. But the beautiful thing about Mario 3 is it has endless playability. I can play this game forever, because it's just that good. Am I going to play it constantly, like every single day? No, I'm not that guy. But I can play it multiple times a year, probably. If I had to guess, I'd probably have to say that I play it multiple times per year.
Well, obviously, you're not that guy. You're that guy that goes and gets the fucking warp whistle and says, "Okay, I'm done." But it gets boring.
No, it does. That's the thing. After I've been playing it for 30 years.
You embrace the shortcuts.
That's the part of the game, is getting the secrets, finding the secrets.
Do they fulfill you?
Yes. Yes, they do. The Legend of
I'm actually pissing him off today.
The Legend of Zelda, it's looking at about 8 hours to beat it. I would say that's probably going to be much longer, because this is a game that does not tell you where to go. It loosely tells you where to go.
Dude, Zelda...
Very loosely.
Do not plan to leave your house.
It is more just exploration and figure it out kind of gameplay. And that naturally is just probably going to take more than 8 hours. However, it's an enjoyable experience.
Can I rephrase that?
Yes.
Zelda is literally a wander around and get pissed off in an hour, look it up, then figure out what you got to do.
The only time I got mad at Zelda is when you get in the Lost Forest. I think that's what it's called, the Lost Forest or whatever. It's where you have to... You're on like this endless screen if you don't go like the correct way. It's like up, left, down, left, or something like that.
There was a Zelda for Game Boy, yeah?
Yeah.
That's how my Game Boy ended when I was 8.
The original Super Mario, I mean, 2 hours, that's probably correct because with the warp, you don't get a crazy warp like in Mario 3, but you do get to warp, and I mean, the regular Mario is just...
Isn't there a second warp?
Yeah. Yeah, it's you get the warp to...
It's 3, 4, or 5 in the first one, right? Or no, is it 2, 3, 4?
I think it might be 2, 3, 4. So you get the warp to 4, and then you get another one that takes you to 6, I think. It's been a hot minute since I played the original Mario, but if you like Mario games, you're probably gonna like the original Mario. It's just a very bland Mario, but I will still pick this game up and I will still play it and I will still enjoy it. It's just the nature because it was the first video game I ever played, so it just has a special place. So I will pick it up and play it.
Might keep my attention for 20 minutes.
Mega Man 2 says about 3 hours. Now, I would say that's probably much longer because this game is challenging. Very challenging. And when it comes to, like, beating the... forget what they're called. It's like the bosses of every level. Plus, at the end, you have to beat them all in a row, and you have to know their weaknesses and this and that. Like, it's a tough game. And if you can beat it in 3 hours on your first playthrough, you are a freak of nature. Castlevania 3, it takes 4 hours. Like I said, I don't really have nostalgia for Castlevania 3, and I don't really know much about it. So I feel like that's right. I would probably always say like probably a little bit longer. So in general, if you went out, bought an NES, or you had an NES that you found in the garage of your parents' house or your grandparents' house or what have you, and you wanted to go pick up, like, you know, you Googled the top 5 or whatever because you wanted to buy 5, you'd be spending $115 and you'd be getting roughly 22 to 30 hours based on the how long to beat times to beat these games. I think you're going to get much more playtime out of that than 22 hours. I think you're probably going to get close to 60 if I had to guess. I would say probably about 60 hours, give or take, with some of the more challenging games like Mega Man and possibly Castlevania.
I mean, if you throw Bigfoot in there, you can make it last as long as you want.
But it goes to show, I mean, you can get some of the top NES games of all time for, if you're smart about it and do it the right way, you can get it probably for about $100, which is right around what you're going to spend for a brand new game.
And if you're dumb and dishonest, you can get it for free.
Well, yeah. But with the classic NES, you can always find deals on like Marketplace or Craigslist if you still use that for some reason. Whatever place that you go to that, you know, maybe your local shop or your thrift stores or what have you, like secondhand stores of some sort, you can find NES stuff for, you know, probably under what price charting would have it for, depending on where you go.
If you go to Marketplace, be careful. Don't meet people in alleyways or at night.
That is very true. And be wary of their profile. Because I do a lot of Facebook Marketplace deals of like buying stuff from people and selling stuff. And there are some shady people on there. And they just want to scam you, and like there's a bunch of just weird, intricate types of ways to scam you. So if you look at their profile and you don't feel right about it, just skip out on it. Just pass. Somebody else will come by and buy what you're selling, and they will be much more trustworthy. Unfortunately, it's gotten to that point where everybody just wants to scam everybody, just to make some easy money. Because, unfortunately, it's become that easy. People just get like really people have gotten dumber and more what's the word I'm looking for? More
Gullible.
Gullible, yes. Yeah, more gullible.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could say they've gotten dumber. How do you get dumber? You know, like,
Yeah.
I think it's more lazier. They've started to trust
laziness
more.
is
I
a
mean,
problem. Trusting
don't believe
is,
everything you read.
Yeah, oh my God. that's a whole nother subject we could go on, but I don't want to go down that because I'll just end up raging because that is a huge problem. If people just sharing things online that they just didn't have any inclination to just click the link to look at what they're sharing beforehand, and everybody just reads the headline and they're like, "Oh my God," and then they mass panic, and it's just like, "Hey, did you read the website? It's haha, I can't believe you're sharing this on socialmedia.com."
I actually, so on the school board page, somebody posted this article about an incident that happened in Philadelphia, where this girl got beat with a Stanley Cup, and I think she was 12. So, hope she's doing okay. But either way, the reporting agency was not like a mainstream or accredited site. I forget which one it was. It was like Unilad or something like that, where it's like, okay. So while I agree that, it probably was mostly true, I'm sure some of the accounts were exaggerated, but she was trying to put the spin on it that, this will happen in our schools if we don't do something. And it's like, well, you're right. This could absolutely happen in our schools. The likelihood is not that great.
I mean,
but
it's unlikely that kids are just like on the internet and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, someone got beat with a Stanley Cup. Well, taking my Stanley Cup to school tomorrow and looks like I'm going to start on the trend."
Well, right. And like how many, I mean, I know a lot of kids have, a hard time with frustration and anger and stuff like that, but how many of them rage out to the point where they literally just beat somebody?
There are also some really stupid trends out there. But,
yeah.
I mean, beating somebody with the Stanley Cup, I don't think is a trend that's going to catch on in schools all over the world.
Right. And her argument was that, if we had more observation in schools, this could be avoided, to which I was just like, yeah, maybe if it was a cop that was there, they could stop that. But
even then, like,
what are they going to do? They're not going to shoot the girl. They're not going to, what are they going to, tase her?
If you want to rage every time you scroll through Facebook, join the Red Lion community page. It is filled to the brim with half-wits. Because, like, dude, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a parent complain about the dumbest thing that is like, why are you even complaining about that? What is the purpose here? What do you want to get out of this? What do you think's gonna like? Nothing needs to change to accommodate that. That is a 1 in a million thing that happens. And they're just like, no, we need to take action against this, and I will not stand for this, and this and that. And it takes all of my being to not just go into the conversation and just comment and be like, do you have 2 single brain cells that you can actually form a thought and realize how dumb you sound?
So here's
complaining
the thing.
about this.
Regardless of what it is, if it makes sense to you and it matters that much to you, shut up and do something about it. Don't sit there and run your mouth about how people need to do something about it. Don't put it on somebody else. Get off your ass. Go make a difference in the world.
Everybody just wants to complain.
Exactly.
That's all. They want to go on the internet and they want to complain. The amount of complaining that I see in like the community posts are mind-numbing. It's ridiculous about the smallest little things. Like somebody messed up their order one single time when they ordered food from a restaurant in town.
Oh, what a crisis.
And they just act like it's the end of their entire world. My wife has an allergy where she literally cannot eat certain things or she will get sick. The nature of it. If somebody messes up our order, are we angry? Sure. Because now, if we order dinner, now she no longer has dinner.
I mean, there was that one time that you were next level.
Yes, there was that time. But to be
that
fair,
was justifiable.
That
though.
time, they give to put it into context, they give us a dish of gluten-free noodles. And we had told them, do not put the garlic bread on the noodles. You can just not give us garlic bread because she can't eat it anyway. They give us the noodles with the garlic bread on top. We say to the waitress nicely, hey, we had asked that the garlic bread not be on top because she has an allergy where she cannot ingest this stuff. So we're going to have to get a new dish because it's contaminated already. They take it back. They bring another one out pretty quickly, which should have set off red flags for me. But we had a whole table of family there, like, just not even thinking. So they bring back the dish, and she, like, goes through it, doesn't see anything to be alarmed about. She eats about a quarter of it. And then she just gets to this pocket of just breadcrumbs. And she's like, what is this? So then we had said, hey, she can't eat this because it's got... What did you do here? Did you just cover up the breadcrumbs? We told you the severity of the issue. Why did you think that you could just take it and just cover it up? That's irresponsible, especially for like the kind of restaurant that you want to be. So they wanted to refund us not for her entire meal. They wanted to cover just the difference for the gluten-free noodles and not her meal, even though she could no longer eat it. I then had some choice words with the waitress at the front of the restaurant, who told me that she can't refund her meal because she ate some of it before she saw the breadcrumbs. And I said, hey, you're trying to basically poison a customer here. That's basically what you did, because she will get sick if she eats this stuff. There's a chance that she could get sick right now based off of what she ate because of cross-contamination. Why would you not just
it's
refund
a shame she
me?
Can't throw up on control.
Refund me the amount for her meal. That's all you have to do.
Well, it's negligence, really.
And she just would not do it. So I am now no longer allowed to eat at that establishment.
Yeah, my ass. You could walk in there tomorrow and they wouldn't remember.
I probably could, but I will not, because that is just mind-blowing to me that, like, you choose to be like a higher-end restaurant, even though it's not. But they put on the persona like they are like a more finer dining establishment, and you can't do that. Is just beyond me.
I got something to say, but I'm not going to say it. Forgo that one.
Dude, I have never raged at somebody so hard.
I know.
Like,
I remember. I felt you. I felt for you.
Oh, boy.
So we were talking about, people just posting whatever they want.
Yeah.
Did your mom do Avon?
Yes. Yes, she did.
My mom didn't do Avon. My grandmother didn't do Avon. She bought Avon. I remember the Avon catalogs.
Here's a question that I need to know. Is Avon still a thing?
I have no idea. I mean, it's not a catalog thing anymore unless it's online.
I have not heard.
Shit, I got a phone. Why not?
I have not heard of Avon in so long, but I cannot tell you how many like boxes, like the cardboard boxes of Avon. That was our storage, like containers when we needed to put stuff in like the shed. It was just Avon boxes.
Oh,
is it still a thing?
Oh, Avon is still alive.
Oh my god. Avon, for anybody that doesn't know what Avon is, it's basically Mary Kay, but back in the 90s.
Mary Kay is way more expensive than that.
Yeah, but like we didn't have Mary Kay back in the 90s. It was just Avon. That's what you did. It was they send you product, you sell product, you pay for the product, and then you get free products or something. However those things work.
Yeah, basically it was a way for women to make money, like a side gig.
Yeah,
and they sell bath and body products and mostly fragrances and
creams and
what was the favorite fragrance? Confession, I think.
The fact that you know the scent name.
Bro, it was in a spray can. I am like every grandmother wore it.
Dude, oh my god. Speaking of, when we were going through my mom's house after she had passed, we were in the shed and
yes. Confession.
We were in the shed and that's where she had just this woman kept everything. And we found little sample size things of Avon that were in there. There was stuff in Avon boxes. She had bills from when AT&T, before AT&T was AT&T and it was Singular
Wireless.
She had bills from Singular and just, dude, the amount of throwback that was in that shed of just oh my, why did you keep this?
Remember playing Worm on a Singular phone?
The Nokia.
Singular Nokia.
Yeah.
The flip phone.
Oh yeah, the big brick.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All the memories.
Dude.
So
it is full. I think you could if you that's probably most of the products that you find in a Goodwill now is just Avon.
Considering that, our parents or grandparents or aunts or uncles or whoever growing up had Avon to make this side income, is OnlyFans the new Avon? Because it is side income. And honestly, from a business model, it's a hell of a lot cheaper wholesale than creams and lotions are. For shits and giggles, I went on there, what was it, 3 nights ago, to this model that was posting reels on Instagram, and I was like, you know what, I'm curious.
Dude, that is a huge...
$32,000.
For what?
One post.
Wait, hold on. What?
On OnlyFans. Her total tips for that post, and she was in a swimsuit. So it wasn't like I was, looking at this X-rated crap out there. $32,000.
From just one post?
One post.
Oh my god. Dude, I've heard on mainstream podcasts when they talk about that kind of stuff, the amount of money some of these people make per month is mind-blowing. Here's something that, since we are on the subject now that Andy brought it up, there was that teacher that got fired from her job because she had an OnlyFans.
Should she have?
No.
Why not?
Because that's just no.
What if one of the kids found that out?
Exactly. That's the problem. And why, a person in that kind of role.
You mean no, she shouldn't have had an OnlyFans?
No, she should not have.
See, my question was, should she have gotten fired?
Oh, yeah.
I think she absolutely should.
Yes.
Like something
100%.
like that is like a no-brainer.
But here's the crazy part about it. Is she was like super upset. Like, I understand, like, if you got into that profession and you were passionate about it, but if you were that passionate about the profession, yes, teachers don't get paid enough. 100% I agree. But there are multiple other things that you can be doing to make side income.
Like Avon.
Than
yeah.
showing the brown eye on the internet.
Then I don't even think you need to do that because, like I said, the $32,000 is in a swimsuit, and it's one of these things. Is it the attention? Is it the money? Is it the combination? I mean,
but here's the thing.
And is this
she said that in like, I think the article said like, she said that she made more than she made on her teacher's salary in like a couple months span. Than she made, like she made her teacher's salary and then some in like a 1 to 2 month span. Okay. So
losing your job ain't that big of a deal then.
Exactly. So if it's about the money,
make
that while you can, while this is still a thing that you can do, and just and be smart about it.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know that this is going away.
It has a shelf life.
Well, does it though? Because think of like Playboy, for instance.
I can't believe we're having this conversation.
How long has that been, a moneymaker? Because at its core and its reality, humans have that component. Whether we want to talk about it or not, whether we want to lean to it or not, it's there. And I'm worried because there's going to come a time when I can't tell my daughter, no, you can't watch Instagram. And then she starts to see all these people on Instagram. And it's like, well, let me look at that. And then they figure out that they're making like enough money to pay for my car in a month.
So that's the problem is like TikTok, Instagram, Twitch even. Like Twitch had a huge problem with that. Probably they're going to find some way to do it again. But the biggest thing on Twitch was to find ways to have like racy streams on your or content on your streams, and like the creative things that they were doing were just absolutely wild. Like they had 2 camera setups to where the one camera would be like an overshot of just like the regular streamer angle. The other camera was literally mounted to a clear seat that they were sitting on. Have you ever watched
Nope.
Have you ever watched Moist Critical on YouTube?
No.
Dude, his name's Charlie, and he's like one of the biggest, like I guess he would be a streamer. He's one of like the biggest streamer / content creators on YouTube. This dude is hilarious. The way that he says things and like makes his comedy is hilarious. But the reason I know about those setups is I watched a video because him and Asmongold will do like the same kind of coverage on just like typical like internet troll stuff, and they'll do like different topics of like things that are trending and stuff. And that was one of the things that was trending was like the things on Twitch, and because they changed the terms of service so that they could like negate some of that being broadcast on their platform.
Probably a good decision.
Yeah. So he was telling about like the 2 camera setup, and some people had 3 camera setups. Like it was just like the most intricate stuff like that you could imagine. And dude, the way he talks about it, it's absolutely perfect comedy.
So my purpose for bringing this up, I'm the father of a young impressionable girl who You know, she's older than your daughter, but you also are the father of a young, impressionable girl
Mm-hmm.
who both are going to be passing through this, you know, window of adulthood, one right after the other. Is there anything we can possibly do to impart wisdom and self-respect and the morality needed for our girls so they don't go down that path?
I think it's just being present, paying attention, instilling the right morals and values into them, and putting putting trust in your kids to make the right decisions. Because I think what drives kids to do the things, or like towards the things that they shouldn't, is the fact that it's been focused on. So
Right.
like if you hyper focus on not wanting your kid to do this, that, or the other thing, and that's been your whole entire parental focus, then yeah, like it's the forbidden fruit. They're going to be drawn towards it. But if you
Even the garden, yeah.
exactly. But if you just graze by it, not make a big deal out of it, not make a big a thing, and you just instill the right values, and just I think a big thing is giving your child freedom and not being the overbearing parent. Because if you're sheltering your kid and you're being overbearing, you're going to push them to just want to get away and rebel.
Right.
Naturally. That's just how kids are. Being a kid, like, you know, when I was a kid, that was the thing to do. It's like if my mom, like, for example, with working when I was like an early teenager, my mom always wanted me to get a regular job. Just go get a regular job in a factory or go work here. And I never wanted to. It was never in the cards for me.
You just go get a regular job?
I never wanted to do it. So my dream obviously was being a musician. I always wanted to play music. That was the thing that I wanted to do. And I always just had, like, I wouldn't say deadbeat jobs, but jobs that would be okay with letting me play music or take off to play gigs or what have you. So I always just was in different jobs that weren't the norm.
Right.
And she always wanted me to just basically get a factory job and make a career out of it. And I never wanted to, because she always hounded me about it. Always. And that was the thing. And I just rebelled against it. And I still to this day, you know, a couple years before she got sick, with my job now, I moved to a 50% commission. So that allotted me to, you know, before I had a daughter, before I had kids, it was just grind, and just that was what I did. I was building my route. I was fresh. I was new. I had a chip on my shoulder.
You were fresh.
And when I got a huge paycheck, who was the first person I showed the paycheck to?
Exactly.
My mother, because I wanted to rub it in her face and be like, look, I did this because I didn't want to be what you told me to be. And I've carried that chip on my shoulder my entire life, well, until she passed away. But
to that point, I don't think that it's entirely because she said do that. I don't think it was a situation where it was like, my mom says do this, so I'm going to do exactly the opposite because I don't want to.
It's because she hounded me constantly. It was always a conversation. She
or is it
always
because
went out of her way to bring it up.
Or is it because that was just not your aspiration?
It's both.
Right.
It's both for sure. But one of the main driving forces for me to do what I'm doing
was because
she constantly wanted me to be doing the normal thing.
And that makes sense. I think that does make sense. And to your point, I think that that's really all we can do. I still wonder if that's enough when you have $360,000 a year staring you in the face just to take a couple selfies with, you know, scantily dressed and post them on the internet, which if that's what you want to do, if that's what you do and you're successful with it, I'm happy for you. I think everybody has their own path to happiness. I think that my daughter, probably could go down a different path. Like, would I love her if she chose to do that? Absolutely. She's always going to be my daughter.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not my preferred path. And I know that right
No.
now it's not hers. I just don't want her to fall victim to the temptation of the money and the fame and the attention.
That's
because
the
it's
problem.
temporary.
That's the problem with, like, you know, being a content creator and being streamers and this and that, like this culture that is a thing, because, you know, when you look at people, like you look at the top content creators on YouTube and you look at how much they're making and you're just like, they made that in a month?
You got a mirror?
Just by filming stuff? Like, I can do that, which is the craziest thing that anybody could ever think. Because it is so much more than what is perceived by anything.
The truth is anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it, but you have to really have the know-how, the brain, the tools to actually, like, make it.
Or
possible.
just be interesting.
Or, yeah. I mean,
like,
some people just have the gift of gab.
Well, no, I don't even think it's the gift of gab. I think it's situations where, like, you know, if somebody catches a cat that can hit a baseball and puts a video out for it and that shit goes viral, that's like a huge... That to me is like a spark on a content creator thing where you get a ton of influx to your channel and everything like that. And if you were to piggyback off of something like that and just, like, continue to post things in that vein.
Well, here's the problem with that is most of the time, I'd probably say like 85% of the time, when somebody creates a viral moment of, you know, they did something, like they set off fireworks and something crazy happened, and that was their viral moment. It got shown on the news, it got shown everywhere. They had a YouTube channel that they posted it on. It has, you know, 1 million plus subscribers. If you do not continue to one-up that content consistently,
You're going to die.
It's done.
Yep, exactly.
That's the like most of the time, the content creators that get the spark, all of a sudden it's a huge spike of people coming to your channel. Most of the time, they don't have longevity because they can't keep up with that because they weren't ready for that.
Well, you're absolutely right.
You didn't build the dedicated fan base. You didn't have the people that found you in a recommended video, or they found you in a search, or they found you through having another creator collaboration or whatever, and like you've built this fan base of people that can relate to you, and they feel like they know you, because that's the thing that drives me to what the things that I watch on YouTube is. Like, I watch a lot of game collectors and I watch a lot of streamers, and like you build this parasocial relationship with these people because you see them every week. You see them more than you do like your own friends, basically.
Well, yeah, they're available at your fingertips whenever you want them, and it's not really them, though.
Exactly. But you can... The thing about streamers is if you catch them live, you can talk to them, and they will respond to your messages, and you have... Like, there's that connection. And as long as they maintain that connection every so often, then you're going to continue to go back because everybody wants to be involved. Everybody wants to be included.
Right.
So in terms of like a content creator or a streamer, when it comes to like you building that fan base of like, if you started streaming and you were just dedicated to it and you dedicated all the time in the world and learned and figured it out, and you built a fan base of 100 people that came and watched you every time you streamed. Every time you stream, 100 people are there watching you. You build these relationships with these people too, not only as the person that is watching the streamer, but the streamer interacts with the same people. They can remember. They remember, you know, people that have been with them from the beginning.
Well, and that's why I was careful to say a spark, because if you think about a spark, what does a spark usually cause?
Yeah.
An explosion. What happens immediately following an explosion? it fizzles out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a sustainable thing, and that's also why I said that you have to really be ready to ride that wave when it happens.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to be perpetual and sustainable.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, aligns with what we were talking about. Whether you pick OnlyFans or Avon, I hope you're successful in life. I don't know how many of you are actually doing Avon, or if it's probably not even a thing anymore now that it's online based. But, I just think it's crazy to think about, and just an interesting perspective on how we have to position ourselves as we move into the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to get worse with the growth of the internet and the trends that come along with the internet, because I mean, who knows what comes after, like, OnlyFans? What's the next thing that's going to be there? I mean,
dude, you can spend money so easily these days. It's not even funny. Like, this isn't an OnlyFans thing either, because I don't spend money there, just to clarify. But, like, I was in church on Sunday and realized that once you actually set up their text service for donation, because I don't really carry cash,
mm-hmm.
you literally just have to send an amount to this number, and it's gone. Any amount, and it's right there, and that is way too easy.
I feel that's how subscription services are too. Like, especially if if I'm on Prime Video, for example, and I see a movie that I want to rent or I want to watch, and that's the movie that me and the wife have decided on. Like, that's the one. We finally, after 7 hours of scrolling, we've decided that this is the movie that we're going to watch.
Damn, that's it.
So you
Only
go
7?
and you click on it, and it's not available to rent through Prime, but you have to subscribe to, like, AMC Plus. And you're like, fine, give me the 3-day trial.
And then it's
now it's
already set.
2.5 years later, and you're like, what is this AMC Plus that I get?
Been done spent $350 on that, didn't you?
Exactly. That's like these subscription services that you subscribe to. That's $5 a month, $6 a month, and you just forget about it because it's you signed up and then you don't see it. You don't see it on your app store because it's not a thing that you downloaded, and then all of a sudden you're just like, what is this thing? And it's 2.5 years later, and you've spent $400.
I was today years old when I learned that my Netflix subscription was configured for Ultra HD.
Mm-hmm.
I was spending $23 a month,
mm-hmm.
and I don't even own a UHD TV. You better bet I switched that shit to Netflix with ads at $7 a month as quick as you could say, gummy bears?
Yeah, that's a thing too, is when you're looking at, especially like the consistent creeps of prices with the subscription services. It started at $5 like 3 years ago, but now it's $15, and now they just told you that they're going to hike it to $20. You have to sit down and reevaluate, like, okay, what do I watch the most? Is it Netflix? Is it Hulu? Is it Disney Plus? Is it Prime? Or is it whatever other services are on there that I didn't? Peacock or Paramount Plus?
Because $5 a month for a year is about a tank of gas.
And if you have 12 of those streaming services, you're spending as much as you would on cable TV or more.
Which, I mean, at least with streaming services, you have everything at your fingertips. It's a very wide selection if you have 12 of them, but I don't think it even takes that. Like, cable TV, maybe $110 a month. If you have any of the streaming live TV services, those are probably anywhere from $60 to $90 a month.
Yeah.
I think YouTube Live TV is $80 a month. So you're, a YouTube Live TV, a Netflix, and a Paramount Plus away from paying for Xfinity.
Exactly. And the issue that you run into is, like, they have Netflix exclusive shows that are absolutely incredible that you can't miss. They
also have Netflix exclusive shows that are dog shit.
Yes, they have Disney Plus stuff that's really good. Like all of these services offer like originals that are really really good.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Prime just got Fallout, which has been massive. It's
That's cool.
It's literally put a resurgence on the franchise, like gaming wise. They've had record numbers of players on Fallout. Now
Prime?
Yeah, Prime did the series.
Oh.
Did the Fallout series. Like the show.
Does that follow the game?
So apparently it's very faithful to the games, like the lore of the games. See, that's the thing about Fallout.
It's like Vault-Tec and Pip-Boy and all?
Yeah.
Get the hell out. Get the hell out of here. No, there's no way.
Yes. Like the show is like...
And that's on Prime.
Yeah.
All right. Are we almost done?
So it's hugely successful. I watched 5 episodes of it, and like there was just nothing that caught me. But I also didn't like. I played the Fallout series so spread out that I just probably didn't catch like the lure, the lore.
Is the dog in it?
There is a dog. There is a dog in it.
A German Shepherd?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dog meat.
Yes.
I don't know. It's not that dog, but they do like have a dog that is like that. They show like the whole training regimen.
Do they have the Minutemen and all that crap?
Yeah, like they have the Brotherhood of Steel and stuff. They have the power armor.
How did I not know about this?
You and Keith also didn't know about it. He's like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Are you living under a rock? How do you not know about this?"
Dude, Fallout was my shit for like a long time. I mean,
well, then you probably would enjoy the show on Prime.
Like, I have looked at jobs at Bethesda Softworks. Like, that's how much I like their stuff.
Well, the fact that you don't work at Bethesda is really depressing to me, and I'm going to need you to change that.
So here's the thing. They do things a little bit differently than the rest of software. Like, games don't really need a product guy.
You can learn, figure it out.
I mean, yeah, I can learn I can code now, but I could not like super like amazing, but I'm sure I could do it. I don't think they're going to hire me on I can learn. Like, these are people that are having like game of the year type games, so they're probably like best of the best.
You can sway them. I think you can sway them.
I also don't feel like driving to Bethesda. But.
You can work on that. Get to work on that. I'll let that process do.
I like my job.
Yeah, but it's not Bethesda.
No. But we make a difference.
But it's not Bethesda.
I'll think about it.
But it's Bethesda. Oh, I think you might be able to hear that in the recording.
I hope. I'd love to see the face I made when I did that.
What were we talking about before we went on tangent of Fallout?
Shit.
Literally.
Damn.
What were we talking about before Fallout? Before the tangent of Fallout? Streaming services. I
mean, we can talk about console in the cloud, or we can put it for next time.
We'll leave that for next time.
All right, that's coming up. Console in the cloud. And it's coming, too. Quicker than you think.
I think so, too. It's just a matter of time. Like, comment, subscribe, watch our old stuff, watch our new stuff, follow us on Instagram, chat with us.
Listen to our farts.
Comment. Yeah, listen to our farts. Comment on videos. Let us know what you want to see, what you don't want to see, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy. Like, give us some feedback of some sort. It would be greatly appreciated. Till next time.
We're Dad's Game Room.